Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video brought to you by SeniorCatWellness.com. In today's material, we'll discuss whether cats are social or solitary, and the answer is yes. While cats do have a bit of a reputation for being somewhat aloof and very independent, so much of how a cat behaves outside of hardwired instincts largely depends on upbringing. Some cats are born into a family, brothers, sisters, and you. They are born in your home, or at least on or around your property, and from day one, or at least week one, they have interactions with humans. While that interaction could seem a bit trivial to us, the seeds are being planted right then and there, the social aspects, the bond, the love, the trust. On the contrary, some cats are born in the wild and never have human interaction until much later in life. In fact, cats of this nature can often spend most of their time avoiding human contact out of fear. It's all about self preservation. And a 6 foot tall man walking around can be a scary sight, especially when you have nothing to go by in terms of a prior history. While that's not to say that cats from a loving environment can't be solitary to some degree, and cats that have spent years living off the land can't be social, so much of the groundwork is established at a very early age. The first weeks and months of life are critical when it comes to a cat's personality. So much of your cat's behavior in the here and now was likely established a very long time ago. And now that we've more or less established our baseline foundation, let's take a look at today's topic overview. Cats are social creatures that love company. However, much depends on how they were raised and socialized as kittens. If a cat is separated from its litter too young, it will grow distrustful of humans and other cats. A cat with good experiences with felines and humans will grow up friendlier and more outwardly sociable. Before we press on, it should also be stated that even the most social cats won't necessarily reach the level of a social dog, for example. Cats are rarely attention hungry, however, they still have their very own and unique ways of showing love and getting your attention and showing you affection. With our first topic subsection just right around that corner. Do you see it right around that corner? Now is the perfect time to give a grand shout out to each and every one of you, the viewers of Senior Cat Wellness, our foundation, no question about that. It would be a lonely video without an audience, and we feel that we have the best one in the feline wing of the internet. Thank you for your time and for your support. We hope you enjoy today's content and find it informative. And we do look forward to seeing you again in a future video. Now, to be social or solitary, that is the question. Let's answer it today. It can be very easy for some to assume that all cats are solitary animals. I mean, they don't always respond when you call them. They don't really seem to care if you're around or not, and they'll walk away and just leave you standing right there. However, even a somewhat distant disposition doesn't always equal a solitary nature. Cats just like to be in control of their environment and call the shots. So by default, cats aren't really solitary per se. They're somewhat indifferent, let's just say. Cats, even felines that are feral and live off the land, usually exist in colonies. They learn how to be social with each other. They also learn how to raise their young, protect each other from danger, and fight off those bad intruders. This is why, possibly contrary to popular belief, cats actually get along quite well with most other cats. For the most part, unless a territory dispute arises or a male is fighting another male for the prize of a mate, most cats are cool. Now, this doesn't imply best friends, but most cats are civil and fairly social with each other. If cats have learned to be around other cats in a healthy manner, then everything should be okay, barring some type of major external conflict. In respect to being alone, male cats tend to prefer it a bit more. While this is not to say that male cats aren't social, but there are several hardwired behaviors that just can't be ignored. Cats love to stalk, hunt, and explore. Even domestic cats within the home, given the chance, will often go away for hours alone, if for no other reason than to scratch that itch. Regardless of the subtopic, everything comes back to upbringing. Are cats cool with humans? Are they cool and social with other cats? Are they social with other animals? At the root of it all is how they were raised. What type of environment were they nurtured in? True solitary cats, in the most literal sense, lack positive experiences. When every single day is a fight for survival, being social cannot be part of that equation. as tempting fate in that manner would result in a bad outcome. Poorly socialized cats are often very erratic, extremely territorial, and very fearful and aggressive when encountered and pressed upon. As a tip, this is why you should never attempt to corner or pick up a feral cat. They won't exactly seek a fight, but they will defend themselves. Be very careful. We've talked about how a positive upbringing can bear positive fruits. And if a cat was nurtured and brought up around people, then people is what the cat will enjoy, especially if the experience has been a loving one. Cats are, generally speaking, extremely social with their owners and other people that they trust. However, even some domestic house cats can come across as a bit solitary, leaving owners a bit confused, especially new owners who are just not sure if something's wrong or it's something that they are doing. If your cat seems very distant and aloof, here are some possible explanations and root causes. Start with lack of neutering. Unfixed felines tend to be a bit more aggressive and act a bit on edge, while in search of a mate, male cats can become very territorial and even attack you if you get too close to a female cat that they are after. While female cats tend to be a bit less aggressive, they can also take on a very solitary disposition. And essentially, the backbone for this entire topic, here it comes again, socialization with cats and humans alike. Those critical 2 to 14 weeks after birth. This time period can shape a cat's behavior for the rest of its life. If your pet is acting out and has a strong desire to be alone, that period of early life could have been a negative one, even if the pet is now in a very secure and loving environment. Up next is personality. Every cat is different, and this can serve as a bit of a curveball. This is what can cause a cat, even a feline that grew up in a very positive environment, to be a bit distant at times. It doesn't mean that the cat is unfriendly, just perhaps a bit more independent, let's say. Another hallmark of today's subject has been the past, which brings us to past trauma, the make it or break it period of the past. We've mentioned living off the land and being far removed from physical interaction with people. This can cause a cat to be solitary. Well, so can past trauma, mental, physical, and emotional. Just like a person, some cats arrive at your door with a lot of baggage from a troubled past. If your cat is overly aggressive, territorial, and paranoid, some past scars could be very much to blame. And finally, motherhood. That's another curveball. Motherhood. When cats are pregnant, their behavior will change, and roughly a month after giving birth, it's not uncommon for a cat to be very solitary, potentially aggressive, and highly protective of her litter. If your cat seems to have a solitary and very isolated disposition, there are several measures you can take to give your cat a bit of a more enthusiastic environment. Increased playtime. Teach your cat some new tricks. How about some longer petting sessions? What about some snack and treat breaks during the day? There's a material we did a bit earlier about temptations. Those snack and treat breaks are some big deals for the felines. And finally, perhaps some naps on the sofa near you. While this is in no way intended to indicate poor ownership, us humans, we're some very busy folks. And even with your best intentions, it can become very easy for your cat to fall into the routine of just sort of living in your home rather than being your pet. Is there a shared interaction or is the cat just there? Hey, it can happen to the best of us, that is for sure. Be available to your cat and allow your pet to initiate the social activities. Allowing your cat to take the lead will make the experience more positive. And just to summarize, cats are social creatures. They're not born isolated loners. However, environment is everything, and life can deal out some rather negative hands, that is for sure. But as long as a cat is raised around other cats and has human interaction from an early age, they should, on some level, enjoy the company and not be afraid or intimidated by cats or humans or other animals. If they've had a positive environment around humans and cats, they should be just fine. It's all about that love and respect. You can change a cat's life by simply letting them know that you care. And on that note, that will wrap things up for the video portion of today's material. However, if you'd like more information concerning this topic, we do invite you to visit us at seniorcatwellness.com. At the conclusion of this presentation, there you will find an in-depth article that will cover everything we've talked about today and so much more. How about a few angles and concerns that were not addressed? We've got them over at seniorcatwellness.com. We hope you find that content to be both enjoyable and very informative. Are you currently watching us offsite? If so, we encourage you to click the initial link in the description box below. Said link will take you to all of the info. And until our paths cross again, and I certainly hope they do, we'd like to thank you once again for joining us today. Please have a wonderful day. All the best to you and yours, and we will talk to you later.